Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and tonight I want to tell you guys about the time a shadow person actually followed me and my husband back from a paranormal ghost tour that we were on. So this happened last Halloween, and we decided to go on this ghost tour. It was just kind of one of those like ghost tours where you just get in a big group of people and just kind of walk around town and everything. So it was okay. Like, it wasn't very spooky, and we were going on a few places, and like it was more of like a history walk. I feel like there was a lot of information about the Underground Railroad, and like it was a pretty cool, informative tour. But like we didn't, we were expecting to see like paranormal stuff, and it kind of was more like a history walk, I think, until the very last part of the tour. Now, this part got a little intense. We ended up in this really old turn of the century cemetery. And this cemetery was founded basically in the early 1800s. And a lot of Civil War soldiers were buried there. A lot of prisoner of war soldiers were buried there. Like, there were Southern forces from the South that, like, Confederate soldiers that were actually buried at that cemetery. And in the cemetery, it was slightly wooded, but towards the back, there were a lot of trees back there. So we're standing there and, like, we're kind of looking around and not really paying attention to what the guy's talking about, and kind of, like, going off and doing our own thing. And I hear somebody say, like, in the group, because we all kind of, we're walking around a little bit, and somebody says, did you, and she was talking to the girl that she was with, she's like, did you see something back there in the trees? It was kind of like this small cluster of trees. And I kind of look at my husband and I'm like, it kind of feels like something's going on back there. Like, I really couldn't explain it. Like, it was just kind of like a gut feeling I had that there was just something back there. So we started walking back there, and this part of the cemetery was where the Confederate prisoner of war was buried. And I kid you not, we start seeing these shadows. And it was like 3 shadows that were just zipping through the trees. And they would dart from tree to tree to tree. And at first, I was like, this is part of some sort of like hoax or some sort of like gig that is like a big finale for the tour walk, and people are going to jump out and scare us or something like that. But the closer we got, and there were a few people like straggling behind us because they saw it too. The closer we got, the more real it became. Like, these were shadow people that were just darting in and out of the trees, and one of them even looked like it was in the tree. It was so weird. They were just kind of like, they would hide behind a tree, and then you just see like a shadow just dart, like, I mean, super fast, and they would just go from tree to tree, and it was the craziest thing. And like I said, it looked like one of them was in the tree, and I was like, this is super weird. So finally, they kind of like dissipate, and we don't see anymore, and we kind of were like, okay, but we don't really want to go back there anymore anyway. So we go back to the front of the tour group. So we're kind of like walking back to our cars, talking about like, oh my gosh, did you see the shadow people and things like that. So that night we get back to the house, we go to bed, and all of a sudden, I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just felt like something was just watching me. And I was like, it just felt really intense, like this like dark energy. And I looked in the doorway, and there was this massive shadow person just standing there. And I was like, holy crap. And I kind of like rubbed my eyes, and it was gone. And I think that one of those shadow people from the cemetery and the ghost tour walk actually followed us back to the house. And they emailed us again this year, and we're like, we're not going on that tour walk again. Like, nope, no thank you, next. So, yeah, that's my creepy paranormal experience. And for some reason, shadow people, like, I have seen shadow people all the time. I've had a lot of experiences with shadow people. A lot of videos I've done have been about shadow people. So yeah, that was my experience with the creepy shadow guy that followed us home from a paranormal walk. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. and I will be back with more videos soon. So I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.